Mike Duncan will be using brand new state-of-the-art equipment to bring you news from all corners of Arkansas. Today, Mike caught up with a man walking coast to coast to raise money for the American Cancer Society.
He's a small figure on this ribbon of asphalt compared to the vehicles, but his goal is a big one.
It's like eating an elephant. You can only eat it a bite at a time.
One step at a time, Dan Lyons is walking from Sacramento, California to Charleston, South Carolina to raise money for the fight against cancer.
My mom's a 22-year cancer survivor, and my sister passed away about 9 years ago from cancer. So when the American Cancer Society asked me if I'd be willing to do a coast-to-coast walk, I said, sure, why not? It's really dangerous out here walking. This is a very dangerous road. I've had retreads come off trucks and almost hit me.
Dan knew walking the roads of America would be dangerous, but so was his first night in Arkansas camping outside Mena.
It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was sleeping there, and all of a sudden I heard people screaming in the campsite and everything. And I woke up, and it wasn't 10 feet away from me. There was a bear just sniffing around, you know, and I'm going, oh, I don't believe this. I didn't know they had bears around here in Arkansas.
Dan is depending on the charity of total strangers to get through his trek. Last night he slept at the home of a couple in Sheridan. Tonight he'll have his own bed, though, thanks to the folks at this hotel in Whitehall.
I've walked into towns that I knew absolutely nobody, you know, and I might go in and get a soda or something to drink, you know, coffee or whatever, and people will just start talking and find out what you're doing, and they want to go, hey, well, what can I do to help support you, you know, what can I do to be a part of this team effort, you know, and that's what it's all about, and Arkansas has been really good so far.
Dan says he feels lucky to be cancer-free. He hopes his cross-country walk will serve as an example to those facing their own fight with the disease.
It's getting up every day and putting up a good fight, because you can beat it. You know, my mom beat it. I've talked to hundreds of people that's beat it. You know, it's not the end. You know, you can do it, and I hope this brings inspiration and hope for a lot of these people that are affected by this terrible disease.
Near Whitehall, Mike Duncan, today's THV.
Dan expects to go through 7 pairs of tennis shoes before he finishes his walk in October.
For 2 years now, David Harris, his wife Bree, and sons Kale and Brett Anderson have worked 18-hour days to create these pieces for the Arkansas Korean War Veterans Memorial. The figures are more than 7 feet tall, cast in smaller pieces, and then welded together to form the statues.
The section that has been welded up here, then this is another section, and even another section. And as you can see, these wells, we've already worked these wells down, taking those out so that they disappear. And when we get through, all of this will look like this, all be blended in.
They first created clay sculptures as casts for the molds. Bree Harris paid special attention to the eyes of the Korean children, who are included in the memorial because of the sacrifices U.S. soldiers made to care for them.
You know, my uncle was in the Korean War. So that's kind of my way of saying this is important to me too. Historically, I want my children, I want my grandchildren, I want the men who fought in the war, great-grandchildren, to know what they did and how valuable they were to this country.
This is not the first large-scale memorial the Harrises have created, but this one is getting special attention to detail. They hope it will be sturdy enough to last for 150, perhaps even 200 years.
A lot of the soldiers didn't get their due, and we feel really good that we can be a part of putting a monument together that truly depicts the soldiers and the participants in the Korean War.
A monument so future generations will always remember the sacrifice.
You go once your first time and you're hooked, that's it.
They head out as the sun starts to set. Their boat of choice isn't a bass boat, it's an airboat. And they don't use a rod and reel, they use a bow and reel.
This is a bow fishing 808, specially made for bow fishing. You can use just a big spin cast or anything. And a fiberglass arrow with a string tied to it.
When the sun goes down, the lights come on. Each airboat is equipped with a separate generator to provide electricity for powerful lights. Lights that shine into the shallow waters of creeks and coves and reveal the location of the unlucky prey.
Oh, right there, Pam. You.
Tonight's first catch, a good-sized buffalo. Bow fishing is becoming quite popular in Arkansas. Tonight, members of the Bow Fishers of Arkansas Club are our guides through the backwaters of Lake Dardanelle. The drone of the propeller pushing us through the shallows prevents a lot of conversation, but there is no shortage of action.
Go as shallow as you can. Get behind weeds. Big line of moss will clear the water up back behind the moss. The waves can't get to it, the wind. And just get as shallow as you can, or come up in a deep creek like this. Good shot.
This isn't a sport just for the boys. Pam Mize is a district manager for Walmart by day and bow fisher by night.
A friend of mine told me, hey Pam, you're an outdoorsy kind of person. You need to pick up a bow and try this. It's a very addictive sport, and I've been hooked ever since.
Then there are anglers whose only gear are the 5 fingers at the end of their arm. This is called hogging or noodling. The fish of choice is catfish, but buffalo, carp, and drum can also be taken. State regulations allow hogging on the Arkansas River from June 1st through the end of October.
So your bigger blues is where you hear all the people like, I don't want to noodle this, because they've had bad stories from people, you know, taking them in and putting them on a blue, because blues feel like you get your hand slammed in a car door. It's as bad as a dog bite. It really is, except they don't have the longest teeth. That's the only thing, but the pressure's there.
So if you're brave enough or crazy enough, stick your arm down the throat of an Arkansas catfish, and chances are you'll come away with much more than the ordinary fish story. At Lake Dardanelle, Mike Duncan for today's THV. These were once the steps to the home of Myra Sue Bates, but Friday's tornado spread her home and belongings through a field like a knife spreads butter. The bathroom here proved to be no sanctuary. Myra Sue was lucky to be away from home. Her son and father took shelter in the cellar next door. His Winnebago has seen better days.
I could work on anything underneath it there pretty easy now. I wouldn't have to even get under it.
It sliced this peninsula in half. I mean, it was devastating.
The damage at Greers Ferry can best be seen from the water. Docks and boats were sucked up and tossed by the tornado, some wrapped around trees, others simply dumped and submerged in the water. And then the twister hit shore, destroying dozens of homes.
And that was a gorgeous home.
John Eisen runs the Shiloh and Dam Site Marinas at Greers Ferry. He hopes things will look better by Memorial Day weekend.
Sky turns blue, water, you know, they'll be out. But for this little area right here, it's pretty devastating for these people. These people have lost their homes and a lot of property. Hopefully they'll be okay.
On shore, families pick up what belongings they can.
Tell you what, we'll just take the elevator.
The Dunkerson family took shelter here under their home.
But you really couldn't tell anything was going on upstairs?
Until we walked out.
We didn't really think that we had been damaged that bad. But then when I came out and I looked around and there was no roof, and then the further I emerged from the hole, the worse it got. So, but the only important thing is nobody got hurt.
It's one of the duties Governor Beebe wishes he had to perform less often this year, but Mother Nature has dealt Arkansas a tough hand this spring. The damage he saw in Carlisle ranged from destroyed businesses to homes left without their roofs. But in spite of the hardships, the governor says Arkansans will pick themselves up and carry on.
Whatever it is, our people have shown the kind of resiliency and get together and help one another to the point that makes you proud of them. A guy told me up at Center Ridge, I guess it was Saturday afternoon, he said, we're from Arkansas, we're tough, we'll get through it. And he was right, and they will.
Wow, a lot of damage, but everybody was all right, so stuff can be replaced, the family can't.
Jason Dunnigan and his wife are one of those Arkansas families picking up the pieces of their lives. They bought their home only 6 months ago, and now it's totally destroyed. Only hours before the storm, Amber made a decision she does not regret.
I couldn't sleep the night before. I was thinking about homeowners insurance, and when I woke up, I turned on the TV and saw there were storms coming, and my mom called, and the first thing I said to her is, I don't know if I have homeowners insurance. So she made me run over there, and 2 hours before it happened, I got coverage on my house.
Within a matter of days, the cleanup will be in full force. It's already started in earnest in most places, and then they'll start the rebuilding process.
In Carlisle, Mike Duncan for today's THV.
The breach of love
You could feel the excitement in the El Dorado High Gym. For these 281 members of the class of 2008, this will be the most significant signature they have signed in their young lives.
DeMario Oliver.
In January 2007, Murphy Oil announced the El Dorado Promise, a commitment to send each local senior to the college of their choice. Sending the class of 2007 and 2008 to college has cost Murphy Oil $1.6 million. But they say that's money that's been well spent.
You calculate the numbers and you estimate how much it's going to cost and you ask for the investment. But when you're actually out here seeing the kids signing their papers and know that their lives are going to be changed, it's just really exciting to see.
By signing his letter of intent, Tyler Daniels promises to do his best next fall at the U.S. Naval Academy at Annapolis.
I want to graduate from the Naval Academy and serve in the Navy, obviously. And then, I might go into the private sector. I might come back to El Dorado. There's a lot of doors open.
Administrators say knowing that college is part of their future has motivated students to take their high school education more seriously.
When you're used to 55% of your young people going to college and you jump from there to 83 to 85, the bar goes up. And when it goes up, you've got to step up.
I think that the El Dorado Promise is just a great opportunity and a gift, and I think we really need to give back.